They do what they do. I mean, they don't change things up a lot. I mean, some of their favorite plays are, simple wing tee plays. Now, they're a little different than most teams because they run the wing tee out of the eye, whereas most teams will run it, out of traditional wing tee sets like you see out of Coshocton or John Glenn and people like that. They are a little different in the fact that they run it out of eye formations and still can do some spread stuff. And to be honest with you, they hurt us more in their spread stuff last year than they did in their wing tee run game. Going into this game last year, our biggest plan was we had to stop the run. That's what they like to do is to run the football, and we thought we needed to stop the run and force them to pass. And unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, we did that. We stopped the run for the most part, held them to about 65 or 70 yards on plays a lot like this, where you see our linebackers and even our secondary getting involved. But unfortunately, we gave up some big plays in the passing game. They're allegedly even faster this year. They got a kid that's already committed to Ohio State, another wide receiver type kid in safety, and then they've got a big offensive line that has a couple kids committed already too. And we had a couple of these plays, and fortunately our free safety chased us down. But this is what we got to avoid this year. We had a couple of times where our linebacker and corner are in great position to make a play, and they just get a little bit too wide. They overrun it just by a step. Great job up here, really forcing this ball to bounce outside, but our linebackers get a little too wide, and like I said, our free safety's forced to make the tackle, otherwise it's a big play. And there were several times in this game too that we had a chance to get off the field, and we just didn't do it. They probably weren't expecting us to put up much of a fight, and as a result, we were able to stay in the game and have a chance to win it there at the end. And I don't think obviously that's going to happen this year. We had several 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5s on this first drive. And you'll see right here, maybe a little hold, but the bottom line is we do our job up front and force this ball to bounce outside, and we got to make that tackle right there. And I think that, in order to win the game this year, we've got to find a way to get off the field on 3rd down. You can't roll a snap back. That's, fortunately our defense comes out and does really well here and forces a field goal attempt. But, that's not the way you want to start. When he makes a field goal, but being down 3-0 is a heck of a lot better than being down 7-0. Now this is, 3rd possession. Really haven't had much success at this point. And you see Nate really slides one in there on a flood route to Devin, and we start to move the chains a little bit. Again, good job by the offensive line, and Jonesy, wrestler, has terrific balance. See a little play action here, and Casey does a nice job here going up and getting the ball. And we got some excitement back, and that's what we needed. After that start, we needed to do something positive. A little play action. This time we get the linebackers to come up with the play action, which we said earlier on boot, we didn't. And you can see we can max protect now. We're keeping those guys in the block so that there's not much pressure. And, Casey goes up and makes a good play. But the thing that really angered us as coaches, we would play good, solid defense. We got a little momentum. You see us running the ball here, doing a good job, making a play, stopping the run, and you'll see this drive ends with another big pass play. So we continually kind of revved it up. We started to move the ball on offense, and guys started to play on defense and get excited. And then all of a sudden, we give up another big play. And, we ended up, because of a couple of the big plays, we ended up being down 17-3 at the half, which is right here, and that's, a game that should have been, and there's a fumbled punt, there's another mistake, fumbled punt. And fortunately for us, defense comes again. Defense did a great job in this game of when something happened, coming back and making a big play. See, Casey kind of reads this. Quarterback thinks he's going to come up there, and Casey goes back and picks that off in the end zone. And, that's a huge play to get us to halftime at least in the position that we're in. It was a rough start for the secondary, bottom line, and this is us just falling asleep right here. They get you down there, and they run, lull you to sleep, and then they do a good job selling this fake by the lineman. Tight ends pop out, and the corner gives up the touchdown. In the first half, we played terrible. Now, the second half here, you'll see that we dominate the second half. We have 2 long drives. They do not have the ball very often. You see screen. The one way you can combat a team that's getting to your quarterback is to slow them down with a screen. And, we're able to do it here. They're blitzing off the edge. Several big plays in the second half. We really thought our team grew up a lot in this second half. As disappointed as we were to lose, it was a game that we felt like made us better as the year went on, and a game that you hope helps you win a playoff game like New Albany. Good drive there, getting in the end zone and get one on the board now, only trailing by 7 points. And anytime you get a long drive like that, you really rejuvenate your defense, rejuvenate the whole team. You know, when you've played a bad half and you're down 14, if you can get it back to within a score, you know, all of a sudden, everybody's breathing a little easier. That's just a little trap play. Oh, and they got us there. You know, that's why as a defensive lineman, you don't want to come upfield. Boom, okay? And they do. They have big physical kids. Like I said, I think they're supposed to be bigger this year, but you do not want to come upfield and give a guy your numbers, because that's exactly the way the trap's supposed to look for the offense. You know, we're bending but not breaking. You know, in the first half we gave up those big plays where you can't really recover, and at least in the second half they're driving the ball a little bit, but we were able to stay in position to get stops. These are plays that started to open up. You see us staying on blocks, you know, up here. Good job, wide receivers getting off blocks, and Jonesy slipping through there pretty quick, and then, you know, good hard run by him. We were really happy with the way our kids physically came back in the second half. And, you know, here, good play by Casey, coming back and getting that ball and going right through the pylon. Probably could have been called either way, but, you know, big play to tie it up here with the extra point. You know, at this point, you're playing field position and thinking about getting to overtime when you punt this ball. And Cody does a good job punting the ball, getting it out of bounds. But unfortunately, like I said, we weren't able to get a stop. So, you know, he kicks out of bounds, and it's basically at the 20. And you can see a little screen play. And this is when we should make the tackle. And this hurts when you don't make this tackle right here. You know, we have 3-4 guys, you know, coming and chasing, but we need to make that tackle. A couple fall downs, and, you know, it's only 5-6 extra yards, but at the end of the game, that 5 or 6 yards ends up paying off. And you see, this is just verts, you know, and I think here we're you know, and this is a result of getting beat deep, and you'll see we get beat deep again here in a minute, but, you know, we played a little softer there than probably you want to, and give up, you know, 10 or 15 yards that you really don't want to give up with 20 seconds left to go. Short play here on 3rd down. A little draw play, which we handle really well. Okay? Really good job here. Unfortunately, Nate hurts himself here when he comes up. And, you know, this is the last play of the game. 7 seconds left. You know, or 8 seconds left maybe. You know, they're at the 39-yard line. And, you know, we just need to be able to handle this a little bit better. I mean, they just run a wheel route here where this guy's going in, the tight end's going out, and that's the guy that ends up with the ball. And you can see we almost get to him. And unfortunately, he's able to just throw that ball up in the air, and, you know, we're a step away from making the play. And it looks like we stumble a little bit at the safety position. The corner's trying to come over here. He's got that other deep outside vertical route, and, you know, we're a step away from making the play. But, you know, that's a play you got to make when you're in a big game like that. You've got to make a play like that to win the game. And, you know, unfortunately, we weren't able to do so. But, you know, again, I thought our kids showed a lot of character coming back and playing the way they did in the second half, putting themselves in a position to win. But like I told them after the game, I mean, that's a game, you know, we shouldn't be happy just competing. You know, a few years ago maybe, but that's a game that we want to win now, and we feel like we can win. But we've got to obviously eliminate some of the mistakes we had last year and clean some things up in order to do so.